Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889, in the small town of Braunau am Inn, located on the border between Austria and Germany. His father, Alois Hitler, was a stern customs official known for his authoritarian temperament, while his mother, Clara Hitler, was gentle, protective, and deeply devoted to her son. Adolf was particularly attached to his mother, a bond that would profoundly shape his emotional world. Hitler's childhood was marked by instability. His father frequently changed jobs, forcing the family to move often. Alois was domineering and expected unquestioned obedience, clashing with Adolf's increasingly defiant nature. Adolf struggled in school, especially after his father insisted he pursue a career in civil service. Adolf, however, dreamed of becoming an artist. When Alois Hitler died in 1903, Adolf was relieved from paternal pressure but lost a stabilizing force. Clara's death from cancer in 1907 devastated him emotionally. These early losses contributed to Hitler's sense of alienation and resentment toward authority and society. 2. Vienna years: failure, isolation, and radicalization. After his mother's death, Hitler moved to Vienna, hoping to study art. He applied twice to the Academy of Fine Arts Vienna and was rejected both times. The rejections deeply wounded his ego and shattered his artistic ambitions. Unable to accept failure, he blamed others rather than himself. Living in poverty, Hitler stayed in men's hostels and scraped by selling small paintings. Vienna exposed him to intense political discourse, including nationalism, anti-Semitism, and populist ideology. These ideas did not originate solely from Hitler, they were widespread in European society at the time. However, Hitler absorbed and radicalized them, combining personal bitterness with ideological extremism. During this period, he began developing a worldview rooted in racial hierarchy, conspiracy theories, and a belief in his own destined greatness. His failures hardened into hatred. 3. World War I. War as Meaning and Identity. In 1913, Hitler moved to Munich. When World War I broke out in 1914, he eagerly volunteered for the German army. For the first time, he felt a sense of belonging and purpose. Military life provided structure, discipline, and validation he had lacked. Hitler served as a messenger on the Western Front, a dangerous role. He was wounded twice and awarded the Iron Cross for bravery. The war profoundly shaped him. He believed Germany's defeat in 1918 was not due to military failure but betrayal from within, a conspiracy theory known as the "stab in the back" myth. Germany's surrender shattered Hitler's identity. The collapse of the empire and the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles left him furious, humiliated, and radicalized. 4. Post-war chaos and political awakening. Post-war Germany was in turmoil. Economic collapse, political extremism, and social unrest dominated daily life. Hitler remained in the army and was assigned to monitor political groups. In 1919, he attended a meeting of the German Workers' Party (DAP). Hitler quickly distinguished himself as a powerful speaker. His ability to channel anger and fear into emotionally charged speeches attracted attention. He joined the party, soon renaming it the National Socialist German Workers' Party (Nazi Party). Hitler crafted a platform combining nationalism, anti-Semitism, anti-communism, and promises of national rebirth. His message resonated with people who felt betrayed, impoverished, and humiliated. 5. The Beer Hall Putsch and Prison. In 1923, inspired by Mussolini's March on Rome, Hitler attempted to seize power in Munich in what became known as the Beer Hall Putsch. The coup failed, and Hitler was arrested. At his trial, Hitler turned defeat into opportunity, using the courtroom as a stage to spread his ideas. He was sentenced to 5 years but served only 9 months in prison. During imprisonment, he dictated Mein Kampf, a book outlining his ideology. The text was filled with racial hatred, authoritarian beliefs, and expansionist ambitions. While poorly written, it revealed his intentions with alarming clarity. 6. Rebuilding the Nazi movement. After his release, Hitler shifted strategy. Instead of violent overthrow, he aimed to gain power legally. He reorganized the Nazi Party, created propaganda networks, and built paramilitary groups like the SA and later the SS. The Great Depression in 1929 proved decisive. Massive unemployment and despair weakened faith in democracy. Hitler promised jobs, stability, and restored national pride. His message, though rooted in lies and scapegoating, offered simple answers to complex problems. By 1932, the Nazi Party became the largest in the German parliament. 7. Chancellor to dictator. On January 30, 1933, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. Many elites believed they could control him. They were disastrously wrong. Within weeks, Hitler moved to dismantle democracy. The Reichstag fire allowed him to suspend civil liberties. Political opponents were arrested, and other parties were banned. By 1934, Hitler declared himself Führer, combining the roles of Chancellor and President. Germany had become a totalitarian state. 8. Propaganda, control, and terror. The Nazi regime relied heavily on propaganda. Joseph Goebbels controlled media, shaping reality through lies and spectacle. Education, art, and culture were subordinated to ideology. The Gestapo enforced obedience through fear. Concentration camps initially held political prisoners. Surveillance and denunciation became everyday realities. Jews, Roma, disabled individuals, LGBTQ+ people, and other marginalized groups were systematically persecuted. 9. Racial ideology and the path to genocide. Nazi racial ideology claimed Aryan superiority and portrayed Jews as enemies of the state. Discriminatory laws stripped Jewish citizens of rights. Violence escalated, culminating in Kristallnacht in 1938, when Jewish businesses, synagogues, and homes were destroyed. These policies were not spontaneous, they were deliberate steps toward genocide. 10. War of expansion. Hitler pursued aggressive expansion, violating treaties and annexing territory. In 1939, Germany invaded Poland, triggering World War II. Early military successes emboldened Hitler. However, his strategic arrogance grew. He ignored advisors and made catastrophic decisions, including the invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941. 11. The Holocaust. Under cover of war, the Nazi regime implemented the final solution. 6 million Jews were murdered in ghettos, mass shootings, and extermination camps. Millions of others were killed or enslaved. This was industrialized genocide, systematic, bureaucratic, and unprecedented in scale. 12. Decline and defeat. By 1943, Germany faced defeat. Allied bombing devastated cities. The Red Army advanced from the east. Hitler retreated into delusion, blaming generals and imagining victory against reality. In April 1945, Soviet forces surrounded Berlin. 13. Death and aftermath. On April 30, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide in his bunker. Germany surrendered days later. His death ended a regime but not its consequences. Europe lay in ruins. Tens of millions were dead. The world confronted the moral horror of what had occurred. 14. Historical lessons. Hitler's story is not one of inevitability. It is a warning about how economic despair, political instability, propaganda, and hatred can combine to produce catastrophic outcomes. He was not a monster born outside humanity, but a human who chose cruelty, domination, and destruction. Enabled by systems and followers who failed to stop him.